Hi there. Today's recipe is going to be twice baked potatoes with goat cheese. This comes from eatingwell.com and I've made this before, so I know this is really delicious. It's also pretty easy to do, but you do need an oven. A viewer wrote to me and said, I hope you're going to be making some things that don't require an oven because I don't have an oven. Yes, many things will not require an oven. And actually, you might be able to not use an oven this time. I'll give you some suggestions. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is gather all of our ingredients. I keep forgetting to tell you that, but really you need to do that every time. So this one's going to take some olive oil, and you don't have to use this kind. This is 41 olive, which I really love. And I'm going to use herbe de Provence flavoring. It's actually infused, but you can use plain olive oil. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to need salt and pepper. Salt. I just pulled this out. I had this on display. It's a little spice server, salt and pepper, or whatever you want to use, from Armenia. This comes from a former student of mine, and I thought, you know, I often want to just have a little bit of salt, so I'm going to use this. We're going to use 3 russet potatoes, also known as baking potatoes. So I'm halving the recipe from what I found online. It called for 6. There's just 2 of us. We don't need that much. We're going to also use some low-fat cottage cheese and some goat cheese. And if you like me, you love this stuff. And some parsley and scallions. And that's it. So let's get started. Now you could bake these in the oven, just, you know, like we usually do, baked potatoes. But actually this recipe says to cook them in the microwave. A little differently from the way I usually do them in the microwave, but I'll tell you how I usually do it, and we'll try it their way. Why not? So first thing, for either method, you're going to get a fork and your potato, and you're just going to jab it. Be careful not to jab your hand. So jab, flip it over. I just go over 4 sides. There. So I've stabbed them with the fork, and now I'm just gonna put them in the microwave oven. The recipe says to wrap them in paper towels, but I really don't understand why. I've been doing it this way for years. So I have 3 of them. They're not huge. So I'm going to try 8 minutes. Let's see if that's good. And there they are in the microwave. All right, 8 minutes. I have, wait a minute. I have a baked potato setting that I've never used, so maybe I shouldn't try it on a video. Anyway, they're cooking, and we're over here. While they're cooking, we'll get the cheeses ready. So, I need, let's see, 3/8 of a cup. I know, weird, but I have an app on my iPad called Paprika, and I really love this app. It wasn't free, but it's been really great. So here's my recipe, and it will automatically scale the recipe if you want to make a smaller amount. I used to have to just, you know, do the math. Now I just say, give me half of the recipe, and I got it. So 3/8 of a cup is going to be 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons, because 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons, right? So we need 6 tablespoons or 1/4 cup with 2. And I need 2 ounces of the goat cheese. And my goat cheese is 5 ounces. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I think I can do that just fine. So I'm going to put that in the food processor. Any kind of food processor will do, but you want to make it nice and creamy. So I'll do that, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So actually, it says to puree the cottage cheese first. So here it is. I've put it in my food processor, and I need my hand, so I have to put this down. Okay, that works. So we're just going to puree it. You know, cottage cheese is all lumpy. I want to get those lumps off. All right, I'm going to have to work on that, so I won't make you wait. So the potatoes may be done. Anyway, the 8 minutes is up. So I'm going to check them and see if they're done and show you what I do to cool them down a bit, or when they're cooling. All right, so I'm opening up. Obviously, baked potatoes are really hot, so I'm not going to touch it with my hand, but I'm going to put a pot holder in there and just squeeze and see. That one is not soft at all. That one's slightly. Yeah, they're getting there, but they're not ready. So I'm going to give it, I'll give it 2 more minutes and see if that does it. In the meantime, let's go over here. So I tried doing the pureeing the cottage cheese with my Cuisinart, and it wasn't working. You know, I've learned that different tools are good at different things. So I'm going to use my magic bullet. See here? Put the cheese in the magic bullet, top on it. This one should work much better. Well, it's sticking to the top. Get it down. Okay, let's see. It can't escape. In the Cuisinart, it was escaping the blades. So I'm going to do this a couple more times, and we'll take it from there. So it's not perfect, but most of the lumps are gone. But I'm going to stop there because I have to add the goat cheese. So let's get the goat cheese. Let's get the potatoes. This is how cooking is. You got to stay on your toes. All right, gonna check the potatoes again. It's still pretty hard on the bottom. It's not gonna be 100% cooked. Oh yeah, that one's ready. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this one in a saucepan. Put the lid on. The last one up here. I'm gonna give these 2 more minutes. So what happens in the pot is it's steaming. So it's still cooking a little bit, but you want it to be pretty close. I used to take them out and wrap them in aluminum foil and leave them for like 5 minutes, but you know, you don't need to waste the aluminum foil. Stick them in a pot. Just cover it so it can steam. Okay, let's get back to this cheese situation. Got this cheese, and I need a little less than half of this, so I'm just gonna fake that. Yes. I mean, even if you get a little extra goat cheese, that's all right. So, slightly under a half. I'm gonna put that in here. Well, anyway. And then I'm going to take it over there and see if I can get a nice smooth paste. Okay, I have the cheese hopefully fairly smooth. And the potatoes are ready. So they're still pretty hot, but I know how to be careful. Yeah, they're not too bad. Ow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the top third or so of each of these. And then I'm going to scoop out the potato and put them in the bowl. I'll do one. Get all that potato out of there. Ow. And it is pretty hot, so maybe I don't want to hold it. Okay, ow. And you can wait until they're hotter, actually. I mean cooler. You can wait until they're cooler. Excuse me. Must have confused some of you out there. Okay, so that's one. I'll do the other two. And you know, okay, I'll do this. I kind of like potato peelings, so I'll probably cut that up and just throw it in anyway. So let's do this first. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and scoop that out and we'll see what's next. Okay, I have my potato scooped out of the skins, and I did go ahead and cut up the top third part. I don't like to waste, and I'm okay with skins. So I'm gonna mash the potato a little bit. Just remembered, I need to turn the oven on. So we're going to turn the oven on 425 Fahrenheit, convection bake, 425. Sorry, I don't know what it is in Celsius, but I'm preheating the oven. Now, back to the mashing. And I'm going to put some salt and pepper. A little bit of salt. Maybe a little bit more than that. Potatoes usually require kind of a lot of salt, so maybe this little spoon isn't really adequate. But you know what? You can always add more later. And pepper. Always freshly ground. I don't even have any pepper that's already ground because I like it like this. All right. Mash. And then I'm going to put the, I think that's good enough. I'm going to put this cheese in, cottage cheese and goat cheese. Sometimes it's really hard to unstick this thing. All right, hang on. I'll get some help. Okay, watch this. My husband did it. Marty. You know what? I keep talking about my husband. Anna, you know who my husband is. It's Marty. So Marty did it. Okay. Yeah. Yum. All right. So we're going to just get all of this out. So obviously this is not a vegan recipe. I don't know, maybe you have some vegan cheese that you could substitute, but fortunately we eat cheese. I mean, fortunately for the recipe. I'm having a heck of a time getting it all out of the nooks and crannies, so let's just do this. And if you have a few little lumps, it's no big deal. It's going to melt anyway. I think I understand now why sometimes on cooking videos, the cook leaves a bunch of it still in the jar. That always bugs me because I don't like to waste. But, yeah, you don't want to waste time either. So, okay, that's good enough. Now, mix that up. This is really not the right tool, but it's doing it. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, cool. Let's get this. So now we need to set this aside and cut up our parsley and scallions. So, take the scallions first. Cut off the roots. Get rid of that. And here we go. Just try to do it as thinly as possible and don't cut your fingers. Okay. Put this in. Okay. And then for the parsley, I like to just pull the stems down till, you know, you just have leaves up at the top. Where's this one? It's this one. Okay, and when you do that, I can put it down and chop. And then when I get to the stems, throw it away. Okay. Do a little bit this way. And put it in. And then we'll just mix that all up. All right, that's good enough. Get the potatoes. And a big spoon and start putting it in. Now I would pick it up, but I'm afraid I'll break it. I broke this one. So I'm gonna have to be really careful with it, so. Remember, this is the broken one, so I'm going to be really gentle with it. A little more. Okay. Just try to keep it together. And I still have plenty, so I'm going to start piling it on higher. And I'm going to use all of this potato. I don't care how high these are, you know, stuffed. Actually, it looks like this one is the largest, so let's pile it on. If you don't want to pile it on that high, you can always just put this in another small dish and bake that. I just want to just keep on piling. And you can kind of mold this to fit, you know. There's a little more. Wow, that's huge. Okay, there we go. So now, all we have to do is wait for the oven to get hot and pop them in. I just noticed I'm supposed to take a fork and make a decorative pattern on the potatoes. So, I don't know how to do this. Just, whatever grabs you. Decorative. There we go. So the oven is hot, and I'm gonna pop these in it and bake it for 30 minutes. All right, and there they are. Okay, set the timer, 30 minutes. And I'm gonna wash the dishes. Oh, I'm gonna serve this with some nice kale, which I'm just gonna, not sure how I'm gonna cook it. I'll tell you when I figure that out. So the potatoes are baking, and I've washed the kale, and now I'm gonna cut the kale up, and I have figured out what I'm gonna do with it. First things first. Oh, when you're washing kale, if you buy organic kale, you want to be sure you wash it very carefully. There's lots of nooks and crannies where little bugs can hide, and I have bought kale at the market and gotten all kind of little bugs in it. These are pretty good though this time, so look out for that. So I'm just going to kind of pinch off these little leaves and put them in the pot. I've washed the potato pot. I didn't really need to. I mean, you know, it's just potatoes. But anyway, I did. So then when you get down here, I just kind of remove the stem. It's too tough to eat. Cut in the middle and then cut like this. Let's do that again. Pinch off the little pieces. This is kind of a big one, so maybe I'll cut that some. Okay, and then cut it in half. You might even want to cut it in fourths, especially if it's a big leaf. And then just, you know, cut. Don't let it jump off the table. All right, I'm gonna cut the rest of these off camera. Okay, I've got the kale all cut up. And yes, it's overflowing in the pot, but that's okay because it's gonna shrink quite a lot. Now, it's wet. I didn't spin the greens or anything like I do if I'm making a salad, but I think it's gonna need a little bit more water. Kale is a hardier, heftier leaf. So you wanna make sure you got a little bit of water, but you don't wanna boil it. So I'm just gonna put a little splash. That's good. Put it over here on the stove. And I need the lid, which is over here. Put the lid on, turn it on, like a medium high until it starts cooking, you'll know. So what am I gonna do to flavor it? Well, sometimes, I mean, I used to just put butter or even margarine when I used margarine. And actually butter flavored olive oil. Sometimes I would use that and salt and pepper, and you can do that. But I have this other thing that is really yummy. It's called bacon salt, and it's vegetarian. It's actually vegan. It's bacon flavored seasoning salt, and it does have a nice bacony flavor. I didn't become a vegetarian because I didn't like the taste of meat. So, yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's also kosher, by the way, and low sodium. So, can't lose. I got this from Amazon. So I'll wait until it's cooking. I'm gonna use that and some black pepper, and that's probably all I'm gonna use in it. Oh, my pepper's down there. So the potatoes are still cooking. Got the kale going. I'm gonna take a break. So the kale started cooking, and the top part started turning a nice bright green. I just stirred it up. So here it is. It's been cooking only, I don't know, probably less than 5 minutes. So here, just kind of stir it up. Look how much it shrank already. Oh gosh, can you see it? No. I need a professional camera person. Anyway, there it is. See, it's nice and bright. That's good. Keep the temperature on medium, or maybe even medium low. And I started off with medium high. When I got going, turned it down to medium. I may turn it down even more. So it's probably going to be done in somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. And right now, I'm going to enjoy a nice cup of jasmine tea. So the potatoes are done, or at least the timer went off. Also, I want to tell you that the kale, I cooked it for 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes, and it looked done, so I just turned off the heat and left the lid on, and that's the best thing to do. Kale's not going to get mushy like spinach, for example, but it should be perfect. I haven't put the goodies in it yet, but let me take care of these potatoes. So, put you here so you can see when I take it out. Ah, that looks delicious. Turn off the oven, and I'll show you a close up. Don't you want to just eat that? Oh, I can't even get this. Never mind. I'll show you on the plate. Here's the kale. See, it's still green. I mean, it's not as bright green, but that's okay, it's good. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the bacon salt. Yummy. And pepper. That really smells bacony. And then I'm just going to use some tongs to mix it up. And that, remember that big pot of greens? Look at it now. See, it really did shrink quite a lot. All right, I'm ready to serve it. Are you ready to see it? Here it is. Yum. I can't wait to eat.